Hey everybody, it is Saturday afternoon and I just want to shoot a quick update of my 20-gallon open-topped office tank here. I recently added a Powerhead in the back right-hand corner and it has made a huge difference in the way this tank looks and functions. I've got two things going on that I actually want to talk about in this video, and that is one of them. That's the first one we're going to talk about. I don't know if you can tell, but for me, the tank just looks so much better. Even though there's a lot more circulation in the water, there's a lot less mulm and detritus. Before, the water was so still that every time the fish would kick around or, root around in the gravel at the bottom, it would stir stuff up and it would just sort of hover and sit in the water column. It would slowly make its way back down, or else it would slowly swirl around the tank and eventually get picked up by the filter. Whereas now, with much more of a vigorous water flow, there's nothing even settles on the bottom. There's not even any mulm collecting in the corners or anything. So there's nothing really in there for it to be in the water to be kicked up and swirled around. So it just keeps the tank looking a lot cleaner all the way around. I also have it looks better. It's kind of hard to put my finger on and explain, but I have less algae, less cyanobacteria. The vigorous circulation in the tank has definitely been beneficial in those regards. The fish don't seem to mind it. I know guppies tend to like a little slower moving water. The tetras here are river fish, so that doesn't necessarily mean they like fast moving water. There's a lot of variance between, being in a slow spot in the Mississippi versus being in the Gunpowder River and in one of the sets of rapids. There's a lot of difference between what could be considered river conditions. So skirt tetras or diamond tetras here, for all I know, might live in rivers, but they might live in shaded, slow-moving backwaters or something. I don't know. That would probably be more my guess than saying that they lived out in, the middle of the fast current. But that would just be my guess based on their shape. I would assume they like somewhat slower water. However, having said all that, I don't have a ton of circulation in here. That is a 240 gallon per hour Powerhead you can see back there. I got the backing of the tank sort of knocked out of the way. You can see I just hang a cloth behind the tank just to give it some dark coloration back there. And with the sun shining on the window and the glare coming in, you can actually kind of see where the cloth is pulled back a little bit. And you can even see kind of straight through the cloth into the back wall there a little bit, if you're wondering what all that's about. So the 240 gallon per hour Powerhead is not overdoing it for this tank, but it is plenty. I've also got a little bit of debris and stuff stuck to it, so that reduces the amount of flow somewhat. So that's turning over roughly 10 times the volume of the tank. It's a 20 gallon tank. It's a 240 gallon, or we'll just call it a 200 gallon per hour Powerhead. So that's about what you want to shoot for if you're going for circulation in the tank. You want to turn over about 10 times the volume of the tank. The other thing that I've noticed in this tank is way fewer snails. For a while there, it looked like the tank had been peppered. It was just covered with little specks everywhere. I literally had to wipe the glass down to shoot videos because the front glass had so many snails on it you could barely see through the tank properly. So that has been something that's gone away. Now, I think that's a combination between when my ram died, I turned the water temperature down several degrees, and I also stopped feeding the tank as frequently as I was before. And I think between those two things, coupled with the greater water circulation, it gives me less detritus in the tank, less debris, and, wasted fish food collecting on the bottom and so on and so forth. And all of those things go towards, increasing your snail population. So if removing that, if the Powerhead is actually keeping all those waste products to a minimum, that's going to help cut back on the snail population in addition to me feeding it less and everything. So the tank is really coming together and looking good. Just putting that Powerhead in there really has made a huge difference, like I said. The second thing I want to talk about with this tank is, once again, my temple plant here is just growing crazy out of control. It's almost up to the light. don't have too much further to go before we're actually hitting the light. So once again, I'm going to have to get in here and cut the top of that and shorten it up. I can't even really lift the light too much higher. I'll be up at the ceiling height in another maybe 2 inches. That'll give me, at the rate this plant goes, 2 inches will give me less than a week before I got to do something else. I really like the way it is sort of rooted in and growing around here in the bottom. I've got so much new growth down here and so much new branching that I'm almost tempted to cut it underwater. Cut it right at that node right there and just let it do its thing and bush out from there. My alternative would be, of course, to get up here and cut, above the first node up here and then let all this sort of grow and branch out and get bushier again. I like it. I really enjoy the way it looks. I like the way that light really casts sort of a green glow around the room. It gives it a very natural feel. Likewise, once you get down here into the tank, you get that nice sort of glow from the light shining through the leaves. Unfortunately, none of the light that's going in this tank is making it there directly from that really good high quality LED. All of that is light that is shining through those leaves. So it really, really reduces the amount of like sparkle and twinkle you get from the LED shining directly on the water. And of course, it changes the wavelengths of light. And since that LED has a really good natural sunlight sort of spectrum, it really makes these diamond tetras sparkle and glisten and look amazing. And if you look at them right now, they don't look very sparkly or glistening or amazingy. They just kind of look like fish in the tank. You'd probably mistake them for skirt tetras at a glance. And that is simply because the light that's hitting them is being filtered through all of these leaves, and all of those beautiful colored wavelengths are being removed. So we're not getting anywhere near the coloration on those that we should be getting. So that's a downside to having the light shine on the tank through leaves. It does give it that sort of natural green cast and that sort of natural hue, but it really robs you of any sparkle and twinkle, and it certainly robs you of the full spectrum of colors that you might get from any of your fish, whether you've got just regular old South American cichlids, or you're just keeping neons or whatever in your tank. I know if you've got hardwater fish like African cichlids, it's probably unlikely you're going to have large plants growing up and out of your water. But any kind of colored fish is you're really going to lose a lot of its visual appeal when you've got light that is shining through the leaves. The leaves absorb a lot of the light, and most of what passes through the leaf is green wavelengths. And since there's just so many of them there, you get to see plenty of light in the tank. It's just not a very colorful light. It's a very green light. So there you go. Just a quick update on my office tank. I'm not going to be doing any work on it tonight or anything. I just did a water change 2 days ago or 3 days ago, something like that now. So everything is fine in there. I just wanted to talk about it for a few minutes and comment on how good I think it looks, because I've really been noticing the last couple days how much better this tank looks than it used to. So good idea for me putting that Powerhead in there. I'm glad I did it. It really, really made a big difference. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. You never know what you're going to get with me. And don't forget, of course, this one is my 20-gallon open-top office tank. So thanks for watching. I'll see you real soon in the next one.